Inspiration. You ever been out there trying to figure something out, write something, fix something, do something, and you're sitting there beating your head against the wall forever, and all of a sudden, ding, you figure it out. That's inspiration. That is what we're talking about tonight. Everyday KT number 245. Inspiration. The ins and outs and all of the other shenanigans about inspiration. It's not motivation. Motivation is getting someone to, or something, getting someone to do something. Internally, externally, you, somebody else, drill sergeant and his troops. That's motivation. Inspiration is an internal process by which you gain some kind of insight or understanding where whatever it is that you're trying to do is all of a sudden crystal clear. You could call it an epiphany, where it's just like, aha, or that eureka moment, where it's like you gain inspiration. That is where a muse comes from. A muse is what artists uses as their inspiration. You know, there's even a Greek goddess who was a muse. That's the whole point. They are there to inspire people. Inspiration is, at the same time, easily one of the most important parts of every person's life, but one of the single most difficult things to capture on the planet. It is tough to capture inspiration because of one thing. It is painfully fleeting. Inspiration is you're driving down the road, you've been banging this problem around in your head for hours, and all of a sudden you hear some song, somebody says something in the song, and you're like, that's how you fix it. And then a squirrel crosses the road and you forget and you lose it. That's how quick it is. It's boom, in and out. It's really, really tough. So that's why I keep this. This right here. When I get an idea, I will write it in here. You know, stuff, those memes that I do on Instagram. There's a whole list of different ones right here. Stuff that I've thought of. Some of them may have been put on there, some not. But I write them down because my memory sucks normally. I'm not even going to make any bones about it. My memory is not as great as I'd like it to be. And with inspiration, it comes and goes just like that, lickety split. I got to write it down or else I'll lose it. So, inspiration. It is the driving force behind a great many things. Most major artists, music, audio, video, whatever the medium is, the inspiration is what gets them where they're going. Or what sparks them to gain the motivation to get where they're going. That's the way to go. So, the inspiration, you can see it. There's movies about inspiration. There are movies about how people fight over, internally, they can't get it done. Writer's block, lack of inspiration. They can't figure it out. They're like, I got this character, he's really cool, he's trying to do this fun thing, but I can't figure out how to get from here to here without copying somebody else, stealing somebody else's idea, or screwing it up. And it's weeks, months, years later. I mean, you've heard of people, I'm working on my manuscript again, 20 years after they've started. It's inspiration. So I don't have a tip or trick on how to get inspiration because it is as fleeting as the wind. You know, you could be sitting there, and this happens all the damn time, laying there in bed about to go to sleep, and then your brain just clicks on and says, not going to sleep. And that's when I get my pen out because I know something's coming. I'm like, crap, what is it? And more often than not, it's actually a halfway decent idea. You know, half the memes that I've written on Instagram with all those cool pictures. It's just stuff that I've written down while I was about to go to bed. Yeah, Jiminy Cricket, he lives over that way. And you know what? It's better than no background at all. Because I was talking about that today. Putting some music behind my videos. I don't know. We'll see. It means I got to edit them, and that takes away from the liveness of them. So, inspiration. It's the thing. It's that spark. That spark. You can't have fire without a spark. And if you want to burn the candle, both ends, as it were. In some cases, you got to have that spark to start with, that inspiration, that thing that says, this is a hell of an idea. Let me give this a shot. And then you motivate yourself because you have that awesome inspiration. You're like, yes, I can do this. Is a cool thing. I love it. Totally awesome thing. I'm going to go kick some ass. No, flogging Molly and bagpipes would be distracting because they're too awesome. I need something like ambient techno with no words. But I digress. See? Inspiration. Right there. Boom. If I had a crappy keyboard. Actually, I do have a keyboard. I might have to play with that keyboard with some audio software. But I digress yet again. Inspiration is very fleeting. It's very difficult. But without it, you're screwed. Because without inspiration, we wouldn't have the Sistine Chapel. We wouldn't have the Statue of David. We wouldn't have fire, maybe? Or the wheel. We wouldn't have the wheel. Gotta be inspired to be creative. And creativity nurtures everything. Scientific, artistic, mathematic. Creativity nurtures, it's the root of everything. Without creativity, you cannot create. And if you cannot create, you've got squat. All of it is based on inspiration. Now, what that thing is that inspires you could be anything in the universe. It could be the way a cloud looks like a dragon in the sky, which is rather cool. It could be how a cricket pisses you off, and you wind up inventing the world's greatest cricket silencer. Inspiration could be anywhere. So always be ready. It's like that old thing, the old saying about opportunity, how opportunity knocks at the worst time. Inspiration does so even more because it doesn't stick. It never sticks itself in your head. I don't know why. I wish I could fix it. I can't. So, like I said, inspiration means you got to bring one of these around. Not red like this one, but you need something to write things down. If you don't have a book, probably get a phone, record it. Record the idea, whatever that thing is. Who knows? You might cure cancer. I mean, I can't count the number. I think there's even Kiltologies about how some kid... Yeah, the guy who solved underwater backwards Chinese algebra while drunk. Woke up the next morning, had no idea how the hell he did it, saw the answer, and he couldn't repeat it because he was inspired and lost it. No, Chris, I would need a mini silencer to go with it, and they haven't passed the laws to allow those yet without all kinds of tax stamps. So, with that, somebody give me a Kiltology. You know, we're talking about inspiration. Let's see what today's Kiltology can inspire as far as figuring out how to connect it to inspiration, because that's always the trick. And again, episodes 1 and 2, or you can go 1 to 507. Somebody asked yesterday why I haven't written a book 3 of Kiltology, because I'm doing these videos, and I think that there's a lot more to be had from these videos than a one sentence, a bunch of one-liners. So, we'll do this one. First one I saw. Volume 2, it's on Amazon, Kiltology. Being humble. Everyday KT number 276. Do not flaunt or brag excessively about a new possession to a Kiltie, especially one who's in a foul mood. You may wind up in the hospital having to extract it from a very uncomfortable place, like at the back of a VW bug. So, what does that mean? Being humble, bragging. So just because you have your inspiration and you have your motivation and you have accomplished whatever you were inspired to do doesn't mean you need to go out and brag about it. Now, there's a difference between telling the world about this cool new thing you did and everybody's like, yay, we've saved the world from noisy crickets. But to sit there, okay, you've told the world, you've saved the world, everybody, no more noisy crickets, bragging about it, how awesome it is, telling everybody and their mom or their kids or their whomever or their dogs or their crickets how awesome you are. Not that you did it. Not that say, hey, check out this new cricket silencer. Bragging about it. Being kind of an ass about it. That's not cool, because everyone out there knows somebody who, when you rub them the wrong way, they usually retaliate in some exponential fashion. And if you have a grumpy kilty, that exponential fashion is pretty bad. So don't do it. You see a grumpy kilty, see what's wrong. If he says leave me alone, that means you walk the heck away because it ain't good. And volume 3, all right, you guys got me into it. The Kilted Cricket. No, it actually had a title. I just haven't written it yet. So with that, I'll let you go. Remember, noisy crickets are trouble. And inspiration is fleeting. So grab something to write it down with or record it with your phone. And as always, it's Monday night. Monday's over. Go have some fun. Do something cool. Or just sleep. A lot of people have school starting tomorrow. So brush the kids off and go get your stuff done. And be strong. Put a kilt on.